They always tilt their head to one side and give you that look. I absolutely hate it. I hate it so much. But I would do the same. It's kind of like just something people do whenever bad things happen, especially something like this.
How can they walk on the street? How can they take the car to the job? How can they go to the store? Because for me, everything was on hold.
I thought it still happens to some, and I could be one of them, but that thought just disappeared quite quickly. And when it then happened, I remember going back to that thought, I was that one person.
The first 13 weeks I was afraid. After that, I kept thinking that I'm going to have a child, because that's what you need to think. And anything else? No, it didn't even cross my mind.
How do you talk to someone who's just lost a child? That night, I remember going to bed and having this weird feeling and thinking, when did I feel her last?
He was kicking like it wasn't the usual kick. Then I woke up in the morning and realized that I haven't woken up anymore. He didn't kick anymore.
I touched the belly and I was like, I can't go to bed without have felt anything.
I felt him when he was alive. I felt that someone was inside, and I didn't have that feeling anymore.
When I didn't feel anything, we called in and went in to get a checkup. That's when we got the news.
I thought that they would just check and I go home and get some sleep.
The first thing she asked me was, how are you feeling? Are you okay? And I said, no, I'm not okay. He's not alive. I need you to just tell me that he's not alive so we can just go on with this. And she told me as well to relax. Everything's going to be fine.
When she told me she was just going to call in someone else, I knew, although she hadn't said anything.
Usually they start with asking a lot of questions, but we started with trying to listen to the heartbeat. They had a little microphone that they move around on the belly. A baby's heartbeat is very fast. This wasn't fast, so I knew that it was my heartbeat.
Then I really realized that he's not alive. And it was totally quiet in the room. Then she says, can't find any heartbeats. I lost it. I started to cry. The midwife, she came around and she hugged me. It was so unreal, this moment, and everything that's happening around. It's like a blur. I don't remember exactly. I just know the feeling that, please, don't get through like I'm dreaming. Wake me up.
So they called in my husband and then told him. It was really hard. I can only imagine what it was like for him seeing that, in me in that situation.
He didn't understand anything, so he asked the doctor, what do you mean? What is it that you see? And the doctor said, yeah, I can confirm with your wife's worries. He isn't alive anymore.
And I guess from that point, although we both were heavily grieving and feeling the same pain, and then talking about the birth situation, it was like two different experiences, which is completely understandable.
They left us so we could, I don't know, cry.
I just found out I wasn't pregnant anymore. My daughter had died, and I now had to think about, when do I want to give birth to her? Do I stay in the hospital? Do I go home?
It's not dangerous to have a dead baby inside, but no one wants to be pregnant for another week.
But because it was in the middle of the night, we decided to go home, and they give you like this pill to prepare your body for the birth. Sleeping pills, of course, to help you sleep and gain energy for the next day.
They didn't work. I don't think I slept anything that night.
And I was almost like panicked about it, because I also was so afraid of giving birth. And this now, like the first time I almost died by myself, and this time I'm giving birth. I still don't know if I'm going to make it, but it's also for a dead baby.
Because it was my first pregnancy, I was thinking a lot about, how would labor feel like.
So for me, it was like, why don't we do a C-section and this is over? They never talked about C-section. It was only about the inducing of the labor. That was like a panic for me, that I thought I was forced into something that I didn't think I can handle.
So they give me like catheter, so they put in by the uterus, it will open up and start.
If I would want to, we could stop or like taking a break at any point.
I just wanted everything to move forward. Like I was in a rush to just be done with it.
This point, my body just works on the medicine.
When the catheter came out, I started crying because it felt more real. Like, now I'm going to give birth to a child that I'm not even going to take home.
At that time, I didn't have anything to compare with it. But I remember being in the room and not only going through my own pain, but hearing other women do that as well. And that's just something you do when you give birth. You hear other women screaming in pain.
And with my daughter, I think it was an easy labor. The pain wasn't the same. I don't know if it's because I had a baby that helped to get out, and now it's a baby that's just there, or I don't know, but the pain was different.
But after a few minutes hearing, their newborns crying, while I was in the next room with a dead child inside of me, it was absurd and extremely difficult.
And he tried to put the epidural like 5 or 6 times, and it's like a big needle and that they stick in the back. The hours here are a bit fussy because I don't remember everything.
I used to put it beside me that he was dead. It was almost like going into a normal labor in one way.
But my husband was in front of me, so I could lean on him, and I kept seeing his face like he was angry because it didn't work. He doesn't get angry. He could see the doctor put the needle in and out, in and out, in and out. When they said that just one last push, I panicked, and all that feeling that I needed to rush everything and that I just wanted to finish, that just went away, because if I gave the last push, that was it. Then I wasn't going to be pregnant anymore, and I don't know if I was prepared to see him as well. He came out, he was like lying there, and I couldn't I couldn't see him. But I saw my husband, and I saw that he had seen him. But they gave us a few minutes, and then they asked me if I wanted to hold him.
I still didn't want to hold her because she isn't alive. It doesn't feel right. It's not how this situation is supposed to be, you know?
I said yes. And it's so strange because the feeling that I had with my daughter, that unconditional love, and that I was proud, I had that with him as well. But he wasn't alive, and it's like when they put him close to me, even though I know that he's not alive, for some reason I just kept watching him, like I just need to see if he will breathe or anything. But it's so weird because I knew he is dead.
I was looking at him and I felt so much pain over that. He didn't scream, he didn't breathe, he didn't look at me.
Stillborn babies are warm for like an hour or two before they get very cold. They want you to keep the baby close so you can still feel the warmth. So I had him the whole time. I kept asking my husband if he wants to hold him, but he said no.
I remember I looked at him and I thought there was something wrong with him, but I asked, and then they said that it's because of a baby's head is so soft to get through the birth canal. Now when he's dead, it's even softer. I think it was the most beautiful I've seen. For me, going through the pain and process of labor was sort of healing, I guess. It was something to focus on at the time. You are in this kind of fog in time and space, and you don't know what is going on or what day it is. How can they walk on the street? How can they take the car to the job? How can they go to the store? Because for me, everything was on hold. Seeing pictures of children's graves and how overly decorated they are, or spaces in parents' homes where have all these pictures, teddy bears, memorabilia, everything. That was really difficult in the beginning, knowing like what should I do. I never felt good to make it into like a really big thing, with tons of people, songs and flowers, and it just felt great to have that like intimate moment.
Four weeks later, we came back to the hospital, and this was the first time after giving birth that I went back to the maternity ward. They say that it's good for the grieving process to sit in the waiting room, but I don't understand why, because we just saw pregnant women and their partners. I tried so hard not to cry because they could see that I wasn't pregnant, and I didn't want them to wonder why I was sitting there crying. So I just kept looking down at the floor. Some babies with this heart condition make it the whole pregnancy and come out alive, but need surgery right away. The thought of him coming out and they seeing that he's not okay and just taking him from me and then rushing with an ambulance and maybe dying there, that felt worse. It helped me to think that he died with me, and I think that he felt loved and he wasn't alone.
And I couldn't understand that there were people that just was an ordinary day for. When I started to go outside the doors, I was so afraid of meeting someone, because everyone, it was in the 8th month, everyone have seen my belly for months. So I was like, now I don't have it. I don't either have a stroller or a baby with me.
The longer you are away from your normal life, the harder it gets to go back, you know. People weren't asking things, which was really difficult in the beginning, because I wanted to talk about it. I wanted sort of people to ask and sort of acknowledge it at least. Some people say her name, some people ask very vague questions. How do you feel? I cannot really imagine what it's like to be on the other side right now. I can only imagine that it's difficult.
And I saw, of course not my closest friend, but someone I know. And I saw her, that she was hiding behind a tree, because I think she was so terrified about what she would say.
Seeing our family being sad was extremely difficult, because it's nothing, her dying, I couldn't help it. Something just happened. But seeing other people sad about it, it felt like I was the one who brought it upon them. Although I know that that's not the case. The facts still are that she grew in me, she died in me. After she died, that week we had both rain, snow, sun, and a big rainbow in just that week, and just felt like, like it was her, causing it. I'd like to think so, at least. But I remember a family member actually congratulating us on being parents. That was really, really nice in that situation. Because no matter where your children are, if they're alive or dead, you're still a parent. She's my daughter, but I get to have her in a special way.
And I'm not scared of the grief. From the beginning, I think I was scared of it. But now, when it hits me, I can feel more secured of that this is the moment now, and it actually is something beautiful, that I am crying over him, because grief is the price of love.